Oracle report. At 1:48 a.m. UT, the sun ejected an empty solar class flare, the strongest in 2 months. This energy will reverberate and begin the circuit through the solar system, stirring things up, and people will stir up too. End of quote. An exciting event occurred in the last 40 hours, and this has been our quiet sun, surprisingly, produced an M-class solar flare. According to spaceweather.com, this had posed no threat of flares. Well, surprise! Many of us felt this very powerfully. This sunspot is now turning towards Earth, and we could see more activity. And since this message was written and posted, which was on this past Friday, we did see another M-class solar flare last night. So, and this was Earth-directed, everybody, so here we go. This was quoted from Cortland Bless about her experience with that solar flare. Blessings. It was one of those intense energy days, one of the most intense ever. Heart palpitations, quickenings, audio tones, dizziness. To the point, I asked guidance. Whoa, dudes, what's happening here? Figure of speech, laugh out loud. No sooner did I ask, the little alert tone went off on my phone, from 3D and space weather, simultaneously. CME impact and geomagnetic storm, and an interplanetary shock wave was hitting the Earth's magnetic field. I felt the shock wave so powerfully, my head was spinning, literally. You might have felt it too. I had to lay down for a short while to assimilate the impact. It just depends how each person acclimates and calibrates when we are in a shift. And today, there was a distinct and defined shift. What exactly does that mean for us? Depending on where you are vibrationally, your senses became much more magnified, inclusive of any feelings that you are currently processing or releasing. Anytime we go through one of these powerful shifts, great changes are imminent. Given what is going on globally, war, finances, collapsing governments, you are likely to see something paramount change in your space or someone you are connected with. Most importantly, remember you are the creator. You have the will and the wherewithal to create the changes you are seeking. Now with so much frequency around you. If we can just keep in heart that we have shifted and are in the midst of an extremely powerful frequency, perhaps it will help us get through the riding of this wave. This is one of the most powerful influxes humanity has ever experienced. When you feel the shock wave of the energy being thrusted through the cosmos almost instantaneously, no human words describe the intensity it is reverberating within spaces seen and unseen. Do what makes you feel more peaceful and calm. End of quote. In our last update, we shared we had entered an intense acceleration period for change and transformation, and that the old would be crumbling quicker. This will be assisted with the help of the sun's magnetic reversal, which could occur at any moment, and a lunar eclipse in our next full moon in Aries. All of this will produce a snowball effect of energy. This is where love changes everything and humanity rises. The winds of change are blowing across the planet. Quoted from Dave Hodges. The winds of change are blowing. We are moving into times of unprecedented change. These changes are promising and exciting. End of quote. Quoted from Cobra. Irrationally, the Illuminati faction of the cabal has triggered a partial government shutdown in the United States, hoping to prepare ground for martial law later down the road. Needless to say, their plans will not be allowed to succeed, and their actions have only resulted in an important wave of mass awakening instead. The lunar eclipse on October 18th is the entry point into a new window of opportunity with an increased probability of events as we head into a solar magnetic field reversal later this year. Finally, we are experiencing mass awakening in the United States, which is a crucial prerequisite for the events. End of quote. Quoted from Bends of Light WordPress. Given the amount of news that's been happening lately, from letdowns of the big-time business kind to shutdowns of the government kind and meltdowns of the nuclear kind, not to mention showdowns of the commentary kind, it's no wonder that the little wonders of life get lost in the shuffle. It's hard to pay attention to anything in particular when so much in general is making headlines. Even the lessons of spiritual leaders is making it into the back pages of the news. But little is said of what's happening on the impending next thing, simply because we don't know exactly what it is. We can feel it coming, though, and it feels like more than just a change in the weather. Last time I checked, there were still a few things that we had to take care of before the major events of global awakening could come to a fully satisfying culmination of extraterrestrial appearances or world peace. Take your pick, either or both. It is inevitable that the world will change. It is not inevitable that it will change in ways that we can predict. We can feel our way through the changes and trust that we're on the path toward universal and harmonics. Or we can choose any number of other modes of dealing with the day's serving of stuff to deal with. Incrementally and by big steps, change is happening now. It's not something to wait for. We're in it, and we are changing as we move through it, whether we're aware of it or not. Remember, when the moment comes to let it all out, to see the reflection of soul, and to ultimately love what you see reflected. In the flash of light that follows release, there is no longer a reason for pain to continue waging war within. I think we'll all be more ready for what comes next, once the heart is clear of the tension of lost keys and missing treasure. In that space of open-hearted healing, anything can bloom. Wishing you all peaceful revelations and loving transformations. End of quote. And quoted from Shante Gabriel. This is a year to claim your freedom. Freedom to express the deepest desires of your soul, freedom to choose to live a more heart-centered life, and freedom to open to a deeper sense of love within you. When you open to these new freedoms, you are expanding beyond the old structures of who you thought you were, breaking through into a recognition of your divinity, and shattering the casings around the pure seeds of awakening consciousness, planted within your soul for a millennium. Now it is time to bring it forward and claim a new level of power for yourself. You are claiming your sovereignty so you can express your most authentic divine essence on the earth. and bring new vitality into every area of your life. Claiming the truth within your heart across the planet, humanity is awakening to the truth within their hearts and claiming this truth in a way that allows them to live a life that authentically expresses who they are. The shackles of old belief systems are dropping away at such a rate that many people are standing raw and vulnerable in what feels like new skin. This new life must be protected like a tiny tree and given the props of support and the nourishment it needs to grow strong. End of quote.